So welcome. Tonight is September 13th, September 13th. And tonight we have an amazing guest speaker, Sarah Molnar. She is someone that I got to meet last year at our Beachbody Leadership event. And she's just an amazing gal, a mom of 4, and she and I really connected. I think it's just, I see a lot of me in her. I mean, I think she's doing amazing things so much faster than I ever did. But what's cool is I've gotten to know her really well over the last maybe 6 or 8 months, and she came out and spoke to us at our leadership retreat. So quite a few of our team members have already gotten to know her too. And I'm going to ask her some questions tonight. Then hopefully we'll have time to open up the call and let you guys ask any questions that are in addition to these questions. So let me give you some background on Sarah. She became a coach, was it just about 2 years ago, Sarah?
Yeah, it was June of 2014.
Okay, so just over 2 years ago, in her first year as a coach, a year and 4 months as a coach, she finished that first year at 12-star diamond, right? Not her first 4 months, but like the first 16 months. A 12-star diamond, she made elite coach. She pretty much blew everyone away in this company. In January, the year after she started, she was able to attend the New Leader Conference. And I think, and she'll tell us, I'll ask her in a second, but something clicked at that conference. And by the end of that year, she was able to hit 12-star diamond, which is just, like I said, incredible. She finished last year at number 16 in the company. She has an amazing team, and it's really about helping people get results. She runs a like page, if any of you want to follow her, called Happy Healthy Sarah. We're going to talk a little bit about her like page too. Why don't you go ahead, Sarah, and just give everyone a quick background on how you found Beachbody and why you decided to actually join as a coach. I know your story, but I think it's important that you often go back and just tell people. So go ahead and share with us.
Yeah, because I think the story is what makes it. But I have to say, Lee, I know we talked last night and she spoke on my call, but like when I met up with Melissa and Lee was just sitting there, we kind of just gravitated to each other and we just started talking and could not stop. So she is just a light. Like, I'm so blessed to have her in my life. She's such a good friend. She's so honest. She's brutal. And she gives that tough love that I think is necessary. But so thank you very much. So the story, you always hear about the story. So my story's kind of different. I was a pharmaceutical rep, and I had decided to stay home with my kids when my first was born, Riley, who's now 12. So I quit being a pharmaceutical rep. And at that point, I had to give up a company car. And so I didn't have a car, which was fine because my husband said, give me a couple months, we'll get you a car. So then he got laid off. So I didn't have a car for 2 years, which drove everybody crazy, but it didn't bother me. I just knew I wanted to be home with my son. So then things got really tough, we had to budget everything. We just did. Like I was just telling my friend today, I remember asking Joe for $7 for like a music class. And he's like, babe, we just don't have the room this week. And I'm like, I look at that now like, holy cow. So, but I realized that a lot of people live this way, and I was very blessed. I know I stayed home. I could have gone to work, but it was our passion to, stay home with our kids. That's how our mom said it. So then I had 3 more babies after that. Joe got a great job. I became a personal trainer at night just to get out and get some type of income coming in. And I've actually looked up. I was actually nursing my daughter, my 4th, and I have a VHS of, I think it's Power 90, Lee. I should have grabbed it, but I'm not sure. And who doesn't know Shanti? I knew the Beachbody programs, but I'm not a shake drinker. Like, that's not my thing. I'm not a work at home person. I'm a personal trainer. You come to the gym, I'll kick your ass. That's how it goes down. This isn't like popping a cheesy video and you're going to get results. That was me. So I had looked up T25 on something. And what's funny is I originally was on Melanie Mitro's page, which I still have to tell her. And I think I grabbed a recipe or something. And then I connected with this coach that I put in Insanity on Facebook, and I followed her and we chatted and everything. And she said, you should become a coach. And I never really understood like what she was talking about. I'm like, okay, whatever, and dismissed it. So she then, she would see me taking like people on nutritional tours, and she's like, seriously, you should be a coach. And I guess I looked at it like, I don't want to be a coach. I'm not interested in that. I'm a personal trainer. I work closely. Like, you don't do what I do. You're not qualified, whatever. Like, I was that Debbie Downer. And so then I saw this one girl, and she was talking about how she was going to embark on the Beachbody business. And I was like, wait a minute. If she's doing it, what do I have to lose? Like, I could actually help my clients right now and say, okay, when you're not with me, do this workout. And it was right when P90X3 came out. And that's kind of like how I teach, like weights and hardcore. And so I thought, all right, I'll do this. And she sent me a sample of Shakeology, and I 100% hated it. I was like, this tastes like rabbit food. I can't stand it. Everything. So then I realized that I had to, when I researched Shakeology and found everything out about it, I'm like, God, this is kind of what I'm telling my clients to do, that I would take to, grocery store and say, here, buy this whey protein and then put all this in it, blueberries, flaxseed, chia, blah, blah, blah. So then when I realized, like, wow, this shake has nothing artificial, because I don't do artificial. I don't do soy. I don't do GMO. I am now 100% pretty much organic. I just believe in it for my kids. So then I was like, I have to make this work. Kind of like I hated yogurt at the time, and I had to make that work. Like, I knew it was good for me. So that's how I started. So when I started, I said, okay, I want to sign up. I'm going to get P90X3. I'll just drink this shit at the time. That's what I thought it was. And I'm like, I'll just make it work. So sorry if you're censored. It's after 9 o'clock here. So then it was just, I just went out there and said, this is what I'm doing. And I was very vulnerable in the very beginning. And I had 56 Success Club points that first month. 56? I invited, yeah. Like, it's so bad because when I tell my new coaches, don't go for income, like, my first check was $890. Like, I was like, okay, this, and I remember writing it down to my husband saying, and I circled it. Because, guys, as a personal trainer, I was bringing in, I worked maybe 3 or 4 hours. So I was bringing in like between 150 and 300. Pretty much at the end, because my kids were growing up. There were so many activities. I couldn't do so much. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, like, I knew if I could do that, it's like a cat. A cat can pee in a litter box. I could do it again. So then I just started inviting like crazy. Okay. And yes, initially I had that trust of my clients, but I didn't have this huge following on Facebook. I had friends from high school and, the typical people. Mm-hmm. But then I just thought, how selfish of it is, here I have this opportunity now. Like, I could, grow this business. And I talked about it all the time. Now, I got in this business thinking, okay, I'd like $100 a month. I'd like $100 a month. That would be cool. That was my initial goal. And when I crushed it that first week, I was like, okay, this could be real. Now, I have 6 brothers and sisters, and my mom all saying it's a scam, it's a pyramid scheme. I'm like, screw you. I don't care if it is. I'm making $900, And so then when I realized that people are coming back to me and having results and saying, you changed my life. And thank God for this shake, because I don't have to worry about breakfast anymore. And these 30-minute workouts, are amazing. Now, I did the workout, but I also ran. I never truly did a full program, which is so bad, but I never truly did a full program until I was in the Country Heat test group from start to finish, because I have ADD of working out. And when I did it, I was like, these programs work. Like, if you just follow the program, you follow the eating plan, it works. So that's how it started. And, for me, building my business was something that I looked at myself as a superstar diamond coach. That's how I was. I acted like that. I acted very confident out there, even though I was scared to death to invite the senior cheerleader to become a coach, because all she did was talking about posting herself and everything. I was scared to death to do it, and I just thought, get over yourself. How selfish is it of you that you've had this opportunity now that has completely changed us financially? How can you keep that to yourself? How can you not? And it blows my mind when people are like, oh my God, I'm so scared to tell my friends and my family. I'm like, okay, so you'll tell strangers? Like, do you not believe in the product enough that you're not going to tell your closest people in your life how this has changed you? Like, that's who you should be. If you feel icky about it, then you don't believe in your product enough. So maybe you shouldn't be a coach. And it kind of checks them to go, you're right. Like, I do like Shakeology. The program does change my life. Why wouldn't you be, positive about it and invite the world? So I'm kind of tangenting.
I'm going to ask you a question. And so when you say that you invite everybody and you definitely are endorsing the products, are you leading with the business? Or tell me how that works for you.
2 ways. It depends on the person, I think, at first. So for me, they've changed this so many times, so I want to be ethical about it. But I do start with the business. because in my eyes, you can save money being a coach.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you sign up as a coach? So yeah, I sign more coaches than challengers. For me, I tell them, I just told this girl, I said, listen, once they know they want to do the program, I'll say, okay. And I use the voice messenger. Guys, people want to hear your voice. If you have a like page or your personal page on Facebook, go live, because they hear you, and then they hear you on voice message, and they're like, oh my God, the star is calling me. I can't believe I can hear your voice and you're messaging me. People think I'm like, what? Like, it's crazy. But the more you go live and the more you talk, the more people connect with you. It's like Kardashians. I'm sorry, but why do we watch them? I watch them. It's because they're always on. So you feel like you know them, so people connect with them. They're not famous for anything except being on TV. So you famous for always being on Facebook. It's kind of the same thing. So when I reach out to people and I realize, okay, they're going to do this 21-day fix and, the program, I always say, hey, listen, there's 2 ways to do this. You can sign up as a, what's called a challenger. Totally legit, totally cool. You'll pay the $140, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. On day 29, you're going to say, I love this Shakeology. And here's the cool thing. You can actually get it cheaper through our loyalty program. And that's how I say it. I don't say coach, because if I say coach, they're going to run the other way. So I say the loyalty program is pretty much just like you're at the grocery store. You're coming in anyway to purchase something, they're going to give you a discount. You can cancel on day 29 if you don't want to, but why don't we just set you up this way? That way, you're set to go. And again, you can modify your order, change your... That alone probably won't work the first time you message someone. But when you build that trust and you have that integrity and you're showing up every day and you show that you're genuinely trying to help people, that's when they're like, I trust this girl. Like, why would she steer me wrong? And I'm totally, legit with them. I say, what happens is, and I did it before, is people love it. And you got to pay a sign-up fee and do paperwork. So we could sign you up this way. It's going to say coach. Don't let it freak you out. You don't have to do anything. It's just a way for you to get the products cheaper, and you get 25% off. So I know Beachbody's been kind of icky about this, because they're like, get the challenger doing their thing. And they still can, guys, because if they're passionate about it and they show up every day on social media talking about it, it's okay that they get the discount. But I've also set them up for success. And that's what happened with one of my coaches who wanted nothing to do with the business. And then she saw how she was influencing people, and she realized, wow, this could work. This is something that could work.
Well, and to what you're doing, I feel like that's the way that a person is just, they're still a challenger. They're still in your group just the same. You're not saying, okay, now go start your own group. So you're still treating them,
Absolutely.
Allowing them to be set up for future purchases.
Right. And I think it's important that, sometimes you're like, oh my God, I don't want to say anything else to this person. I just need to send them a link. I get that. I've been there. Send it to them. But then a couple weeks into your challenge group, say, okay, for those of you who didn't sign up for the loyalty program and are loving the Shakeology, comment below, or I'll message you how we can get it for you, cheaper. So then they can set up. And there's a lot of people that are in my groups that have signed up as coaches to get the discount. And I'll do the whole, hey, Quarter Force is coming out in November. Guess what? All you people that are on part of the loyalty program, you're going to get it for 25% off. Very cool. Increases your volume. Throw them in another challenge group. And I always tell them, grab a friend. You can actually earn money by grabbing a friend. So I guess I kind of, go ahead.
No. Please go. You guys should.
I guess I kind of paint the picture in the beginning that it's not that hard if you just want to get your Shakeology covered. Because really, guys, it's what? 3 people. That's really what it is. But growing a business, it's hard. It's a lot of work. So if you think it's easy, just like he said at Summit, 95% of people, I'll say this to everybody and they won't take it back. And I always say 95% of people that read personal development don't do anything with it. Well, I read this book. Well, what are you doing with it? That's great. You read the book, but you have to apply that now to your business. Don't be an information hoarder. Well, I went on YouTube and I went on all this stuff. And it's like, if you don't put that practice into action, nothing's going to happen. So
what would you say, looking back, because you've had great success in your first year, and now this is, your another year. What would you, if you could go back to your month 1 Sarah coach, what would you say to yourself now that maybe you would do differently?
That's a great question. I think I would say, who cares what people think? Okay. Because I was very scared to post about the coaching opportunity, because I just wanted to earn the Success Club points, get the trust of challengers, change their life. And I guess I looked at it as like, I don't want to look sleazy. And now I've looked at it as, if I saw a child running into the street, I don't care who their parents are, I'm going to grab that child. So for me, now sharing this opportunity, like I said before, is selfish. So I've completely turned the way I look at this business now. So now when people see me and they bash Facebook, we all have those friends that are too good to be on Facebook, and you're like, whatever. They know me now as, well, I know you've built your business on Facebook. Like, that's how they associate. I'm not on there for the fun of it.
Right.
It's business.
Okay.
And online.
Well, so go into that for a second. So you've built it all on Facebook, and primarily, I mean, I'm sure you use your personal page a little bit, but you've grown a big following on your like page, right?
Yes, I did.
What is currently working the best on your like page for you, and what have you done that really isn't working on your like page? Because that's, people want to know about that.
So I'm a huge fan of Snapchat actually now. I'm actually growing a Snapchat business because people love, again, that Kardashian, what's she doing all day long during the day.
So wait, stop right there real quick. Because I know there's a lot of people that like hear about Snapchat, and I have Snapchat, but I don't know how to get people who I don't know on Snapchat. So tell us. You have to, there's like a fruit fly. You have to post. I posted today on my personal page. So now I'm tapping more into my personal page. So I'll back up. How I built my like page originally was me saying, I have this value, but you got to go over to my Happy Healthy Sarah page to get it. And I was always linking them to that page because I was still scared to go to that personal page. I tell coaches now, new coaches, don't worry about a like page right now. Put it all on your personal. Because here's the thing, if you have 1,000 people on your like page and you post something that you're like, this is going to rock, I'm going to get so many responses, people are going to be, calling me. Maybe 400 people are on. Maybe 50 people see your post. So you have to remember where if you put it on your personal page and you make that post public, everyone can see it. So a good tip to do, so what I would do is I would send people over to that like page, and I did a giveaway. I don't really sample Shakeology. I don't know how you guys do it, but to me, when I sample something, I'm lowering the value. That's how I look at it. Like, I got all these samples to give out, la, la, la. I'm like, no, those are $5. We got good stuff, like I'm not just sampling it out. You can't go into a high-end jeans store and go, can I sample these jeans for a week? No, you got to buy them. Like, that's just how it works. So I treated my business like I didn't need your business. I'm okay without it, but I'm not going to convince you that what I have is good. I know it's good. If you want to hop on board, come along. So for me, I pushed. I was going to say, what is your giveaway?
So the giveaway, I would do a $25 gift card to Target, because who doesn't love Target, and a sample of Shakeology. But what I did is I would have them comment on a post, whether I usually did like I was cooking something. I'm always cooking something, so I would share a recipe, I would share a workout. But what I would say is, because on your like page, if you're not friends with everybody, you can't see who shares your page. So I would tell them to comment that they shared it, tag a friend. They'd get a double entry. Every time they tagged a friend, they would get another entry. And they have to like it too. So this was in the very beginning. So when they comment on your post, Facebook looks at it as, because the whole algorithms change. They're like, oh, look, she's got 30 comments. Let's put this back up here. That's how Facebook is running. So the best thing you can do is always ask questions on Facebook. And when they answer them, so if guys post about the flu shot, whatever you feel, ask that question. People, every year I ask that question, I get the most response. And I know what I'm going to do with the flu shot. I just ask it. But when you're starting that discussion and you're commenting and you comment and you tag them back in it. So if I'm talking, I'm like, oh, thanks so much, Michelle. I appreciate your insight. Facebook sees it as, oh, more activity. They're tagging people. So the more conversations you can build, the better it is. Then right after that, you do a call to action post, because Facebook sees it as, wow, this girl got how many comments. We're going to put her next post like top of the page. So there's more availability. So yeah, I have boosted posts that have failed miserably. And I've, tried different things. For me, it was something like, I'm sure you've seen the quote where a child, when they fall down, when they're learning to walk, they don't go, screw it, I'm not trying to walk. They just keep trying. So for me, if it didn't work, all right, I got to do something different. I never got to the point where I thought this wasn't for me. For me, this had to work. This was what was going to work. So when you're posting about certain things and trying to get people over to your like page, I put a lot of the same comment at the same time on my personal page as I do my like page, and different people see it. And I know we're like, oh my God, if I post this, you think every single one of your friends is going to see it. I mean, I posted about that health bet. I can't even tell you how many times. And then I reached out to somebody. I'm like, hey, do you want to grab Shakeology again? And she was like, what health bet? I'm like, what? How do you not know this? And here I thought I oversaturated my market with it. Mm-hmm. So as much as you think you're talking about something over and over and over again, you're not. Kind of like, I'm sure how, people see that, they put commercials out, car commercials, and they're like, oh my God, I got it on channel 2 and 4 and 7 and everybody's seeing this. But unless they're watching TV at that appropriate time that your commercial's on, they're not seeing it. So that's why it's so important to invite people and know that when you're talking to someone, talk right to someone. So like, as I'm talking to everybody, but I'm really like honing in, talking to Kelly personally and talking to Michelle personally. And that's how it has to be as a Facebook post. Cause we're always like, hey guys, I need lots of people to join a challenge group. Don't do that. Say, I'm looking for 5 women, 5 people that are, committed, that are moms, that are struggling. So that person on the couch that's sitting there scrolling their phone going, oh my God, that's me. So it's making it not about you, not come join my challenge group, but this is what I'm looking for. This is the market I'm looking for. That's really what has helped me. I've changed how I give them value every single day. Free groups, free recipes, but I make them work for it sometimes too. I'll be like, oh, I just made this awesome chocolate peanut butter, no calorie food. Who wants it? You entice them in, I'll say, comment yes. And then I private message them the recipe, and then I start to build that relationship with people, or I'll ask them, what do you like about my page? I'm trying to figure things out. Are you into health? Is it more a nutrition problem? I ask about them. I answer a question with a question 100% of the time.
And so to grow the like page and to build those relationships, so you're giving them the free content, and then you're basically trying to connect as quickly as you can, get to know why they're liking your page, what they like about it, how you can, if they like recipes, how you can, when you find a good recipe, they're a working mom, hey, this is a crock pot recipe, I thought of you. Just things to make them realize that they're special and that you care about them, yeah?
This business is all about relationships, and that took me a while because I had quick success just from people wanting to just get that, fix, and I want to do this at home and everything. And then I realized, like, I have to build these relationships now. I have to connect with people outside my warm market, because I'm still connecting with my warm market, because it's so awesome when your ex-boyfriend's wife's sister is now one of your coaches. You're like, what the frig? That's your warm market, though. I mean, it's your warm market. It just isn't the people you know. It's about connecting with people that continue to follow you, going out. And I know, guys, I'm so overwhelmed with all these social media platforms. Pick one and just go for it. I mean, I'm on Instagram, kind of. I have like 1,000 followers. I have no idea where I'm going with it. I don't know why they're following. I randomly, but Facebook is my thing. I love Snapchat because I just think it's fun too. So, pick one. Try not to get so overwhelmed, because it's hard to go on Twitter and there's just so many of them. I'm like, oh my God, I can't keep up.
A question about Snapchat. So when you go on Snapchat, you have to share on your Facebook page that you're on Snapchat. So do you put your Snap ID and say follow me?
You can do that. You can do a Snap code, or you can do a username. So I did today, one of my posts, I'll try and find it. I'm constantly dropping my username. Okay. Drop yours. I'll follow you.
And are you doing that with your personal friends or your like page, or both?
Both. Okay. I treat my personal page like my business. You'll see me crying about my preschooler going to school. You'll also see me talking about dealing with my mom passing away. You'll see me dealing with, coaches that are excelling. It's the whole package. There's nothing hidden on my personal page because it's public. Right. My Facebook is my business. Because I've treated this business like a business, it's paid me that way. So, and I always tell my new coaches, I get it with kids. You might be nervous putting it out there, and I respect that. For me, and they're like, well, what do you do? I go, but for me, I could have a child molester walking next to me in the mall and with my child. I'm just not that type of person. I just can't even think that way. I'm sure the first Dateline that comes out about Facebook finding her, then I'll be like, I'm out. But I mean, I've never been that way. So yeah, my personal page is a lot of engagement because I have it public to see more people come to me, and go over to my, page, go over to my snaps, and that's the fun part of it all, is that you can connect all of it together.
So from a business standpoint, as you brought these people into challenges, you're helping them see results. A lot of them are coaches, but they're not really coaches yet. So they have a discount. How do you transition them into understanding that they have a business? And I know you said, oh, look, you can get 25% off on this next product that's coming out. Oh, look, you can refer people. And so how do you know, like, when it's right to tell somebody, okay, you're really doing this, you've already got your product paid for, you have a business here, you're ready. Like, what's your approach to that? I think that the whole team is sitting on the edge of their chairs for that.
When I know that somebody, like this one girl, Melissa Sacco, she's one of my leaders. She is, she wanted nothing to do with Shakeology, and she was a music teacher, and I took my daughter there. And I just thought she would be an amazing coach. Like, when someone would be amazing. It has nothing to do with so much personality as it does for a drive. I look for the drive in people. And I post like a coach that I want on my team. I never whine. I never complain. I never swear on social media. I never, you see this FML and, oh, my job sucks. And all, like, I never say that because I just can't stand those people. I unfollow them. So I tell my coaches that if you're negative on social media, why would anybody want to follow you or do anything with you? So for me, this girl was somebody that wanted nothing to do with Shakeology, yet she was having severe stomach issues. I'm like, why don't you just try it? What do you have to lose? Like, I was very nonchalant. She's like, I don't do shakes. I'm like, all right. And so then eventually she saw me on social media and doing what I was doing and helping all these people. And she finally thought, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my Christmas money. And I said, well, just sign up as a coach because you'll get a discount. She's budgeted it and everything. And she did. So then she saw how great she felt. And she even mocked me. She took a picture of her Shakeology, like the got milk, and she tagged me in the post. I'm like, go ahead, mock it all you want. And we still joke about it. And now she's 4-star diamond and, doing amazing. So for me, I send them a welcome letter, because what I do is when I initially sign up a coach, I always tell them, whether you're in this for the challenge group or whether, whatever, I can't not tell you about this opportunity, whether it's for you or not. It's not a big deal. I'm going to send you this welcome letter. And in this welcome letter is a video of me. It's 1 minute long saying, hey, and I don't tell them this. I just say, hey, I'm going to send this welcome letter. Watch the 1 minute video of me and just get back to me. So in the welcome letter, I have, you are number one, you're in it for the discount. You want nothing to do with the business. Totally cool. That's why Beachbody's great. 2, well, wait a minute. Maybe I would like to hear how I could get my Shakeology covered. That would be kind of cool. And 3, I'm ready to rock this business. And what happens is these discount coaches come to me and say, well, yeah, I really wouldn't mind getting my Shakeology covered. So then for me, I can look at my downline and go, okay, this girl might be a business builder. We have 3 days to switch placement, and I can play the game of where to place them. So I tell them, get back to me in 24 hours. So I've had a lot of discount coaches say, I wouldn't mind getting my Shakeology covered. So then it's me saying, okay, we can talk about this. I actually have a training set up, and I always tell them, it's kind of like teaching a kid to ride a bike. I can stand next to you and let you go, or I'll run with you. I will not chase you down, and my team knows this. I'm not somebody to, go, hey, did you sign that coach yet? Hey, what's going on? Hey, I follow their lead. Not that I'm not there. We talk after, if they go through their GSR and GSR number 2, I don't get on the phone with them until they've completed 7 days of training. Because for me, I screwed up in the beginning and was doing GSR calls for hours at a time with all these different coaches that just fell at the wayside. And I thought, my time's more important than that. Because anytime you guys are working with coaches or challengers or, whatever you're doing, that's time away from your business and your family. So it better be worth it. And don't be available all the time, because that's not teaching them anything either. Who wants to be on all the time? So I send them it, they come back to me, and then I just kind of follow their lead. And I tell them, so I had this girl, and she said, I said, if you're on Shakeology every month, why don't you sign up as a coach? And that's I just talk like they're my friends, you know, like, why wouldn't you just do this? It doesn't have to be like, I have this amazing opportunity and they could change. I don't do that. I'm like, okay, you're getting it. So then she said, my husband's been drinking and he loves it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to tell you this. You can just swipe it away. But if you sign up as a coach and you have your husband sign up as a coach, you get one more person. You're considered an emerald coach. Like, you'll get leads from the company. This might not be for you. What does she do? She sends me a message back. She's like, can you talk now? Here's my number. Can you call me? I was like, I can, because my daughter was watching a show and I showed her that this is how I fit it into my life. And so she said, okay, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to sign him up. I just say to her, I'll show you how to do it. Because guys, if you think about it, when a coach is first starting off, they want to sign up their spouse, which they 100% should. And they find one other friend. They're an emerald coach, just like that. And you're already teaching them, you just send a link. This is the beginning, just send a link. This is not, rocket science, I don't think. So when you're doing that, you're just kind of showing them the direction and saying, yeah, I'll throw them in my challenge group, grab 2 friends. You're making it very easy for them to go, I just earned $80 and I don't even have to do anything in this challenge group. Then they see the camaraderie of a challenge group and they're like, I want to do this. This is so cool. And then you just show them how to grow. That personal connection means everything.
So you run one challenge group every month?
Oh, well, I was running 3. It was like, it was a little crazy. So now I'm down to usually 2, if not 1. I'm trying to get started.
They start on the same day or start at the beginning of the month, middle of the month, kind of, yeah. Okay. So
yeah. It's just based on Success Club points when they sign up. Because I'd hate for somebody to sign up. I start a challenge group on the 7th. They sign up on the 8th. And I go, you got to wait a month.
Right.
And another way to get people to sign up as a coach is also say, I'll pop you in my next 2 challenge groups. That way you're going to get a cheaper Shakeology anyway. And we can decide from there where you want to go after those 2 months. And that helps them too.
Right. They see what it's like and then they know how to do it.
And people love challenge groups. So they don't want to leave them.
And you kick them out, right? So after they're done with the challenge group, they just go in the support group. They can't come back in a challenge group, right?
Right. It depends, though. If they really like it, I'll say grab a friend. Mm-hmm. If they're a coach, I'll say you have to grab somebody to come back in the challenge group because, again, it's showing value. I'm still their coach. They can ask me questions, but it's kind of like when you teach your child, again, how to ride a bike. I'm not always going to be out there running next to you. I don't need to. You got the principles down. You know what you need to do. You fall off the bike, I'll be there to catch you. If you're falling off track, I can pop you in another group.
So they're coming in with their friend and you're supporting their friend as a customer too.
So if I have a coach, and my coaches know this, that if they are running their first challenge group and they're still unsure, I tell them, okay, I run the group, you respond to their posts. You're their coach. Yes. So they're not my coach. I can, base it on that. But then I try to tell everybody, this is your person, so you have to manage them.
And someone said, tell everyone how you kick people out of your challenge group if they aren't pulling their weight. So
So I guess I'm a little hardcore. So what I do is they have a whole list of rules. I give them all the rules, and I'm very passionate about food and what you put in your body, because I think people are working out more than they're caring about their food. So food's a big component to me. And I have them list their food. And if they don't post their sleep, their water, their food, their shake, and their workout every single day, they get 2 warnings or I kick them out.
Awesome.
And they know.
Track that all yourself?
Give a warning.
And you keep track of that all yourself?
It's not really that hard because I try to keep the group smaller. So and again, I've built a relationship with these people, so I know who they are.
Well, how many? 10 in the group?
What?
How many in the group? 10, 20, 50?
Usually between 10 and 15.
I'm just trying to give people an idea of what it is.
But like this whole health bet is showing me they're not listing their food. They're just listing the Shakeology and the workout. And I'm like, shh, this is great. I don't have to check out everybody's food. I'm like, maybe, but again, it's all about
winning the money.
Maybe that would work better, So you got to do what works for you and what works for your challengers. I think we're so scared to be tough. But we're their coach. They need tough.
So tough with your coaches when they sign, and I know we're kind of working on, it's only 6:35, but when you have how often are you running new coach groups for your new coaches? Like they have to do the 7-day training. Is that independent? And then they come in and you give them a coach training, or how does that work for you?
So for me, you guys are going to laugh. I am in this group with like Kim Carver and some of the top coaches about redeveloping coach basics.
Okay.
I cannot for the life of me understand why we have this huge coach basics resource and yet we're all reinventing the wheel. It doesn't make sense to me. So for me, I direct them there too. Like they need to, know that they can, there's tons of training, tons of information, tons of where do I post? It's all back there. So they start in, I have this 30-day group that's actually only 14 days right now because I haven't had time to finish it. I'm a mom of 4, so I just fit this in the cracks of where I could. So they get the basics of what needs to get done. So they do that for the first 7 days, and then I'll set up a new coach Zoom with them. Now, again, I don't chase them down though. I say, this is what you do. Reach me after you've done it and we'll chat. And then I tell them the most important thing you can do as a coach building this business is get to Emerald as soon as possible, because that volume is like a bank account. And every week you're not Emerald, you're losing that money. You may not have access to it. It's kind of like a trust, but eventually you will. And you'll be mad that you didn't have all that volume. So I do one-on-one call, or I'll take 3 people at a time. But there are times where people are like, I'm in a funk, what can I do? And the first thing I tell them, what personal development are you doing? Because I was not the personal development girl. I do it now, but I'm and I know it's probably sounds crazy, but I'm very self-motivated. I listen to an awesome podcast called MLM Nation. Download it. It's free. It's amazing. It's all these different people from all different MLMs telling their stories about how they did certain things and how they made it work. And I do it while I'm straightening my hair or, doing whatever. But sometimes for me, a run is a good. Now I'm actually on the Ultimate Reset. So me just going for a walk sometimes is my personal development. But I know people get in really deep, dark places and funks. And they're like, I'm like, can you talk to me? And I'm like, sometimes I'm a life coach. You've got to be self-motivated. This is your business. This is not your upline's problem. It's not. I mean, I never go to my upline. And maybe I should, but I'm just such a, if I don't know the answer, I talk to Francisco and Coach Relations like every day for the first 6 months. I've tried to figure it out on my own because my coach was 3 hours behind me. What was I going to do at 9 in the morning, at 6 in the morning there? Or I would Google it. I would YouTube. My training was done on YouTube. I just was a sponge and absorbed it all and put it into practice. So that's really what, I did as far as new coaches. I tell them the same thing. You have to go out and, if my training doesn't match with you, that's okay. Not everything's going to match. Then go out and find it. Don't blame your upline, because that's just, you're an entrepreneur for a reason.
So I'm going to ask from the audience, because we have quite a large audience here. If you have a question for Sarah, why don't you unmute yourself? And we'll take you. I can't really see hands because I have you guys on the sidebar. So go ahead, and does anyone raise your hand if there's a question? Can't see. Or unmute yourself.
Scared, I'll yell at them.
She's tough love, but she's good, guys. Anyone? Go ahead.
Hey, Sarah.
Hi.
I'm Susan. I have a question about when you sign people up to your loyalty program. How do you bypass the whole Social Security necessity?
Okay, so when I tell them about the loyalty program, they're like, okay, sounds great. And, again, they've built that trust with me, so they know I'm not trying to scam them into anything. I do say, when you sign up, it's going to say coach. Don't be afraid. They're going to ask for I don't even say they'll ask for your Social Security number, but some people will come back and say, why do they need my Social Security number? And I tell them why. Well, here's the cool thing. A lot of people sign up for this, and then they actually start to earn income because they tell their friends, people want to purchase from them. So if you make more than $600, Beachbody is a legit company. They're going to send you a tax form, so that's how it works. So that's exactly what I tell them.
Turn it into a positive thing instead of being like, lost it like a deer in headlights is what I'm dealing with right now. So yes, that helps.
Just tell them that. And I was to say, Beachbody's legit. This isn't some crazy company. They're not going to do anything with your social security number, Grandma Jane, but they're going to, I mean, so yeah, it's kind of funny. I kind of make a joke of it. You know, I'm like, I know people get freaked out by that. Like, that's what I say. And so when I downplay it, I think they feel like, oh, all right, you know.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you, Sarah. Any other questions, guys? These are good. Randy, go ahead.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute. Sarah, can you tell us how you grew diamonds so quickly?
Yeah, that was always the big question too. So with my coaches, again, I did a lot of one-on-ones. I spoke with them personally, and I shared the opportunity. I never made it like, okay, so if you want Emerald, this is what you need to do. I told them how to get to Emerald, go find 2 people, you know, and get to Emerald. Just like I told you guys, like, you're missing out. So once they did that, and 9 out of 10 times it was their spouse and somebody else. And I told them, I'm like, listen, if you can manipulate both sides of your business, great. I can't. You know, I just have my husband on the one side. So you can easily build that. So once you hit Emerald, you know, you're just inches away from diamond. I don't even talk about ruby. I just go right to diamond, because really, let's, you know, why do you need to learn about how to make a cake? Let's get to the frosting. So I was always just very much, I just approached it that way. So then I would tell them, you know, I would send them, like, Jimmy Hayes Nelson has one, like, how can you not get to diamond quickly? It's like, go find 12 people, like, for real. I'm just very matter of fact, and I tell them, all right, this is what you want to do to grow to diamond. You know, there's, you know, I have like an image that shows exactly what you need. You need to find these people. Okay, you need to, so once you get that coach that you think will be the business builder, let's get them on the phone. We got to have them find 2 people. So it's kind of like, once you get to diamond, you really don't want to go backwards. So then they fought even harder to keep diamond. So I've had girls go diamond in a month. 2 girls went diamond in a month. I went diamond in 37 days, and I was snarky about it. I said, okay, I hit it in 37 days. Do you want to beat my record? And 2 did. Mm-hmm. But these are people that I knew wanted to build a business. So I said, and it's that healthy competition. Another thing I did is I took 2 people. It was May 20th, I remember. It was qualification of 2015, and I wanted 10-star by the time I went to Summit my first year. I wanted to be a 10-star diamond my first year at Summit. And so what I did is I needed these 2 girls. They were on opposite legs, and I needed them to hit diamond. So what I did is I put them in a text thread together. So it was me, the 3 of us talking. But what happened is as much as I said, okay, what's the plan for today? What's your invite? Who's your next coach? I just planted that seed that way. And then they started talking. So then the next morning, you know, Trisha would be like, okay, so I already signed this person. I just need 3 more. And then Nicole would be like, all right, I got to get 2 people. I'm going to find 2 people today. That's my mission. It built that healthy competition. So when you put people together that have the same goals, but a little bit of that competition, it helped. But you can't make people want this business. You can't. And I'm not saying that to be a Debbie Downer. I was exhausted. I looked at some of these people that I'm like, you're 1 away from diamond. Like, I had 3 girls that were 1 away from diamond that would have put our team at superstar, you know, in the first year. And they're like, I just don't know if I want to do it anymore. I'm like, you're like at the 26-mile marker of a marathon. Why wouldn't you go the distance? But you know what? It wasn't in them. You know that sport? I don't even know if it's a sport. Is it curling? Where you're the broom and you're brushing and the thing's letting go and it's moving? I felt like the freaking broom. I'm like, I'm not being the broom this year. I'm going to, I'm going to work with the people that want it. So that's exactly what I do. Coaches are going to drop. Diamonds are going to leave. You know, I've built 22 diamonds, but they're all over the place in different business centers. My husband, some drop, some quit the business. It happens.
And I know someone asked you if you have an abundance of inactive coaches because they put their shakes on hold or cancel.
Absolutely. And all that means
something's wrong.
Nope. I need to keep building. I get coach cancellation forms all the time. I'm always looking, I'm like, oh, goody. But that just means I got to keep building. It's like if you have kids disciplining, you don't try one way to discipline them. You keep going till you figure out what works. And that's what I had to do. I've had to switch my business. My why has changed hundreds of times. You have to be open to being patient and being consistent. Those are the 2 things I 100% highly recommend. And that meant my mom passed away in July. I still showed up because for me, it was therapy to me. It was me letting people know what was going on in my life. And I got so much love and support that it helped me get through it. It was me showing up on Christmas. Was that a pain? No, it's not a pain. When I know that we're building this amazing house now and I get to stay home and I'm soon going to retire my husband. So yeah, I had to go in the trenches for the first few years to get to what I need. I don't have to work as hard now as I did in the beginning because it's like, you know, you go to, well, wherever you live, you know, in Buffalo, we go to bed and, oh, look, it's snowing. The next day it's 7 feet. Like that just doesn't happen. You know, it just continues to grow. So once you have that foundation, because I know like there's a lot of times this business is a huge roller coaster, you know, like you're up and you're feeling fantastic. When you were feeling fantastic and you've hit Success Club and you're like, oh my God, this is it. Take your phone, record yourself and tell your future self when you're at Success Club Zero and it's the 20th of the month and you want to quit, watch yourself. There's no better motivation than you telling yourself not to quit.
Love that. So true. Okay, we have time for at least one more question. Is there anyone that has another question? Raise a hand. Maybe I'll find you or unmute.
I have one, Lee.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Danielle. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, I'm like trying to find you on the squares. It's like the Brady Bunch. Even though I don't know I'm looking at you, but I feel like I have to.
I do the same thing. So I have a question about your confidence. You mentioned that ever since day one, you acted as if, right? You saw yourself as that superstar diamond. Are you that confident in person before becoming a coach, or did you have to teach yourself that?
I'm one of 7 kids, so I had to stand out. I am probably one of the few extroverts of Beachbody coaches because they're all introverted, I realized, but they're extroverted on social media. And so for me, I just thought, I don't want to say I don't care what people think. I know my agenda. So if people have an issue with what I'm doing, I have to remember that's their issue and not mine. And I have to remember why I'm showing up on social media. And I remember and I'll give snarky, like those are the best posts when somebody comes back to you and says something, you know, snarky, that I change it into a post. And, you know, with me and a big smile face, you know, because it's like that indirect comment. So, I mean, there's tons of books on confidence, but I guess it's the whole fake it till you make it. Just fake it till you make it. And that doesn't mean I'm confident every day and I'm not, you know, sad. I share my journey about everything on social media. It bothers my sister, you know, a lot because she can't understand it. But it's not for her to understand. It's not her journey. It's mine. So, you know, it's kind of the same way where I tell her, you know, if I walked into your office, I'd be like, why the hell are you all working here? Well, if you walk into my social media, that's my office. So I'm okay with it.
Can I ask a follow-up? Was there anything behind the scenes that you did to help with that belief, to help, you know, fake it till you make it? Like if, I think it's I can't even think of the book. Never mind. But anyways, in the book, the guy talks about how he had, like, basically he spoke to a group of people that he admired on a daily basis, and they weren't real, right? But it was so he could help believe that he was one of them. So was there anything behind the scenes that you did?
You know, I think it's just how I'm built. I really, and that's probably a crummy answer, but I think that's just, I always had to kind of stick out, you know, of 7 kids to be heard. So if I wanted to be heard, I had to say it. And I very much felt like I have a purpose to change lives. I've had awful health history, and I feel like God gave me this, where I am right now, to be heard, because I know that if for as many no's as I get, that there's somebody sitting on that couch waiting for me to reach out, waiting for me, for them to see the 57,000th time I worked out, that they're going to go, okay, I got to do this. So I guess it's just that that's what I mean, like the whole personal development. I'm just very driven that way. It's just how I'm wired. And I just truly believe that it's selfish if I don't put myself out there. It's selfish if I don't share this journey, that I have something really good, and I really believe in our products because of how many lives they've changed. So that's kind of given me the confidence. All the people coming to me saying, you know, I lost 100 pounds. And I'm like, oh, and they thank me. I'm like, you did it. Like, I didn't do that. You did that. So So when it's tough to go on social media and post those, same posts that we feel like nobody sees, I remember those messages that I get, and that's kind of what drives me.
That's perfect. And you answered it. It's purpose. I think you started with purpose, and I believe I think that's the key.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. And before I go, I just wanted to make one comment. I got to see you at Summit speak in the workshop.
Oh,
and
I almost lost it.
It was awesome. But what I took away Summit with is what you said at the end about being there when you didn't want to be or didn't have to be. And it meant everything to me, and it changed how I looked at everything. So thank you.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.
Someone asked if your husband was always supporting you along the journey. Like,
Yes. Yeah. But he didn't drink Shakeology for 6 months, and I remember sitting down next to him. We had to charge our challenge pack, and then the next week I was like, okay, so I got to sign you up. He's like, no, you're not signing me up. Let's see where this goes. Babe, we can't afford it. And I said, I can do this. I will do this. And so he was like, all right. And then it was like, he just saw, the opportunity. He didn't really, he's never been to a Beachbody event except Mexico. Like, he can't come to Summit with me. We have 4 kids. We don't have anyone to watch them. So he's never been to anything like that. But then he sees how excited I am about it. So he has been on board since the very beginning and very supportive because I think he wants to golf more. So I think
that's awesome.
That's true.
Any last question out there? We're going to end it in a sec.
Silence.
I know. They like just to listen to me ask. All right. Well, thank you so much. I know it's late there. I don't know if any of your kids, hopefully they're not still up, but
Oh God, no. No.
They're all young and you get them in bed early. You're no nonsense mom here. Mine are like, we're 3 hours behind you. So mine are all like chomping at the bit. Not know what to do, and hide and seek and craziness. So thank you so much. I know the team thanks you. And there's probably going to be 1 or 2 questions. I'll send them your way after the fact. And you're awesome. And I'm ready to see you in a few weeks.
I know. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Night, guys. I'll just give the recording to you, too.